Now, Africa's fast-growing carbon credit market is projected to exceed $100 million by 2030. Well, a Kenyan company, Green Voyage, has joined forces with U.S. company Mystocks.africa to democratize access to the market. The collaboration allows global investors to fund high-impact climate projects, from reforestation to clean energy, while earning competitive returns. But why does this matter? Here's a part of a conversation I had earlier with Dennis Ngigi. He is a founder of Green Voyage.
The voluntary carbon market space is essentially a global marketplace where companies and individuals can purchase carbon credits to basically offset their emissions that they can't eliminate. So here's how it works. We'll take an example of reforestation or a renewable energy project. So we have international standards who are able to verify this type of projects. And for every ton of carbon they reduce, they generate one carbon credit that can now be bought by the off-takers. So we have several stakeholders. We have people called the carbon project developers. Ideally, they are the guys who are doing these sustainability efforts, or for example, the reforestation project I just talked about. Then on the other side, we have the corporates who are looking to buy credits to meet their net zero goals. I'll explain about net zero later. And then we also have people like brokers and platforms, like Mystocks.africa, which we're going to talk about later, which help people to buy and sell carbon credits. And finally, we have communities who benefit from directly from this project. In terms of the impact, last year, the voluntary carbon marketplace was able to reduce 500 million tons of carbon.
Now, of course, you're collaborating with Mystocks.africa, as you sort of mentioned earlier, partnering to create one of these markets. Give us more insight into that collaboration. How do you plan to make carbon credits more accessible in Africa and in the space you're working in now?
Our partnership with Mystocks.africa tackles two major barriers. One is accessibility. So traditionally, carbon credits are available to the large corporates and conglomerates who buy in large quantities. So what our collaboration with Mystocks.africa does, it fractionalizes the credits. So even an investment of just $100 could fund a project anywhere in Africa. The second barrier that we're trying to tackle is transparency. So we provide prevented projects with real-time impacts. And then investors are able to get a clear return, and they're able to see a clear path of return on investment from the credit sales.
And I'm curious to know, who exactly are you targeting? Are you targeting organizations, individuals, small businesses?
Yeah, so ideally, we just want to bring everyone to the fold. Like I said, you'll be able to now invest up to as little as $100 into a carbon project. That means we are able to include anyone who would want to invest into a carbon project and carbon credits.
And what are your targets going forward? How many carbon credits, for example, do you hope to get out of the atmosphere or put out there? Give us some more insight into what some of your end game targets are.
Yeah, so we have a very ambitious plan through this collaboration. First is to unlock a market of up to $100 million worth of carbon credits. And that could amount anywhere to 100,000 to 1 million carbon credits that we either plan to avoid or reduce from the atmosphere.
Now, one thing you talked about was you're helping to eliminate the barriers. And we know the voluntary carbon market space, it's not fully defined by any regulatory framework or standards. So talk to us about the pros and cons about the marketplace right now. How are you navigating these issues and challenges?
What we're bringing on the table now is inclusivity. Like I said, we are trying to bring smaller players who are able to now nurture and develop their project and give them visibility to the global markets. So in terms of the cons, like you mentioned, is regulatory uncertainty. Kenya especially developed a Climate Change Act of 2024, but then other African countries are yet to develop carbon market frameworks. So it leaves a lot of gray areas, but we are trying to work with several stakeholders to at least help projects across Africa.